one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
When did winning not become the main thing? I always say keep the main thing, where, you know, winning is the only thing that truly matters.
Let me be very clear. I'll never give up. Never.
Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Yo, I hope y'all having a good day, man. Or night, or afternoon. Whichever point in time you're listening to this. I do appreciate you for listening, for tuning in with me, for kicking it with me. If you're on the graveyard shift, if you taking a long drive, if you just, chilling at the crib, and you said, I want to throw something on, I appreciate you. Because you could have chose something else. But you chose to kick it with your guy, and I truly do appreciate it, and I won't forget it. We talking San Francisco, Baltimore tonight, but before we get into that, the Saints and the Rams play tonight. I'm taking the Rams. Now that we got that out of the way, we talking Baltimore headed to San Fran on Monday Night Football, Christmas night football. The Ravens done played on a couple Christmas nights. They take on the San Francisco 49ers. Two teams at the top of their division, at the top of their respective conferences, divisions, 11-3. But I heard Kyle Hamilton. Before I get into what Kyle Hamilton said, let me say this. This one of them type shows where we might get a lot of, we might get viewers who've never checked out a show before. And so if you're a new viewer, I appreciate you. You probably here because you want to hear me talk about San Francisco, or you want to hear what my thoughts on San Francisco is. But I just want to give you this message ahead of time. If you commit to listening, listen to the entire point that I'm making, or listen to the entire thing that I'm saying. Do not stop halfway through and be like, oh, this motherfucker's stupid. Like, don't do that. I understand we in a society where we watch a lot of stupidity on sports media television. So that has made it in a way that we just immediately shut off listening to certain things that we don't like to hear. But just let me get through my points. All right. If you're a new viewer. Also, if you're a new viewer, if you want to comment in the comment section about anything I say about Brock Purdy, listen to the entire thing I say about Brock Purdy. And do not feed me stats. Cause I'm telling you right now, I'm going to address the stat situation. Okay. So when I address that, if that's something that you're going to use for Brock's defense, just listen to what I got to say about it. Cause what I'm not going to do is continue to answer questions or respond to comments that I've already answered. See, I did a Justin Herbert video a couple times, and a lot of random people who had never watched the show checked out the show, and I appreciate them for that. And I appreciate them for commenting. A lot of their comments, though, I answered in the video. And so I'm like, man, do I want to sit here and respond to comments that I already responded to multiple times in the video? Or do I want to just give them a quick little like and respond to my other viewers who like regular viewers who comment different shit, who listen to the entire show and comment and different stuff about the show? And I'm going to always lean towards that. So, you know, if I say something that you might not like, that's different as far like, and you listen to my entire point and then you want to have a discussion about it, I'm cool with that. But if I say something that you don't like and I address the entire thing in the video, you just chose to cut it off at the point you didn't like, I don't got nothing for you, bro. All right. Because I'm not responding to a comment that I answered in the show. With that being said, let's talk about Kyle Hamilton, baby. Kyle Hamilton, a phenomenal safety. One of the best safeties in the league at this point. Unbelievable. I still can't believe that he fell to Baltimore. He said, feel a little disrespected. Like, both 11-3 teams ain't created equal. And I agree. It leads me to my first point of the video, my first point of the show. So, you need not worry about who I'm picking in this game. If you watch the show on a regular basis, you already know. That's another thing. To the 49er fans who might be watching this game, show tonight. I am a Baltimore Raven fan. Now, you are a new viewer, so I understand that you immediately gonna be like, oh, he gonna be biased. I understand that. However, if you had watched any of my shows in the past, a lot of my shows, you would see I am very unbiased. I am not biased just because I treat my team. The only thing biased about me when it comes to the Ravens is I'm picking them every game. That's about it. Other than that, my biasness in loving the Ravens has not stopped me from being as critical about them as I am of any other team. I have not broken down the Ravens any less because I root for the Ravens than I have any other team. I've praised the 49ers more than I done praised any team on this channel, probably. Aside from, it's probably been between them and the Eagles since I done started this channel. So, with that being, it could be the Chiefs actually. With that being said, I just wanted to throw that out there. So you don't get shocked in the video. You thinking to yourself, is he a Raven fan? Yes, I am. But I'm not going to be biased in how I break this shit down. You going to think so because you're used to the media. Or you just ain't at that point where you mature enough to listen to somebody who's not biased. But listen, you just determine that on your own. Now, back to Kyle Hamilton. His comments, man, they led me to my first point in this video. See, I was watching a couple shows today. I watched the Pat McAfee show. I watched a couple shows today, and I watched people break down San Francisco and why they love San Francisco and all the stats and the stats and the stats. And it just further brings me to my irritation. But there's certain people in the media who will point out, bro, these stats not created equal. And I made this point in the last couple videos. When you look, I have no ill. You play who is on the schedule, but I have to still judge who was on the schedule. The Ravens' strength of schedule is far greater than the strength of schedule of the 49ers. I see nobody bringing that up. This is an irritation for me because when you look at those teams Lamar done had in the past and the great teams he done had or been on, whatever, however you want to word it, they always bring up stuff like that. They always go to the tiny details, the minute details. But with the 49ers, because that's the team that everybody rocking with, that's the team everybody love. Oh, they beat the Eagles and the Cowboys. Even though you think the Eagles and the Cowboys is fraudulent, they beat them both. Meanwhile, the Ravens' strength of schedule and the teams they done beaten damn near every team that's in the playoffs for the AFC right now. The only teams they haven't beaten in the AFC playoffs is teams they haven't played yet, or the Colts. The Colts did beat us, even though we was winning that game, and we just let them have it at the end, it would seem. Nonetheless, some a 49er fan gonna be like, see, look at him, he being biased already, bro. Just go look at the game. That's another thing. We gotta stop the show again. I actually watch the games, 49er fans. I know that might be hard to believe because in today's, media sports world, these motherfuckers is just watching the highlights and whatnot on YouTube. They even have made the highlights longer on YouTube, bro, so you can watch them shits and say that you watched the whole game. It's crazy. But the 49ers is one of the teams I watch more than any other team in the NFL because I fuck with Kyle Shanahan is like my favorite coach in the NFL. I done raved about Kyle Shanahan for the past number of years. So I'm letting y'all know off rip. I watched it. You're going to see. But I look at who the 49ers done played. And I'm happy that they done beat the teams they were supposed to beat. And they beat them the way they were supposed to beat them. But however, they didn't beat San Francisco. I mean, they didn't beat Cincinnati. That's a playoff team. And they had Joe Burrow at the time. Got slapped by him. They didn't beat Cleveland. That's a playoff team. Baltimore beat both those teams. Swept one of them. Was leading in the end of the game against the Cleveland Browns. Once again, that's the thing of Baltimore. In the media's eyes, Baltimore's biggest weakness is they can't hold leads in the fourth quarter. But see, the media is fucking retarded. Why do they not tell you why do Baltimore blow these leads? What leads to them blowing these leads? If you listen to Big Saint right here, I tell you all the time, because defense and spots is what matters. The Ravens over the last 3 years, not necessarily this year as much as the previous 3 years, have been terrible at spot defense. What do you mean by spot defense, Saint? Well, if you're a viewer of the show, I know you know what I'm finna say. I know you rocking with the kid. You know what we about to do. Spot defense. The defensive spots that matter. It's like 3 to 4 stops in the game. Most of the time it's 3. If your defense play like shit for the majority of the game on both sides, it's usually it's usually lessening the stops. But if your defense play like shit and then they play great in the second half and you got to play catch up, then it's usually a couple more stops. But usually when both teams play the way they should play, you got about 3 stops in the game both ways that you need to make. All right. And when you don't make those stops, 3 things can happen. Momentum can be lost on your side and gained on the other. That's 2 things. I just said them like they was 1. So let me start over. You can lose momentum that you have already built up. The other team can gain momentum that you are losing. And then you can ultimately lose that fucking game. You have to get the stops that matter. And I would love if it was like, I know my regular viewers who watch me all the time, we've been talking about this we've been literally pointing out different games in which the defensive stops mattered and whatnot. Matter of fact, a recent example was the Philadelphia Eagles against Seattle. The Eagles defense played great defense for the most part all game. And what they tell you, they told us our whole life, defense wins championships. Defense, it matters. I don't believe that. Defense does not win championships anymore. Offense, a great offense wins championships. Defense in spots matters. If the Eagles had got the 2 key stops that they needed at the end of that game, they win. They didn't get those 2 stops. So all the great defense they played before them 2 stops that they should have got didn't matter. Because defense for an entire game, playing great defense throughout the entire game, that don't matter. Now, some games you have teams that just don't show up offensively, and it might look like your defense just walked the gauntlet out there. Those things happen, but I'm talking about what happens in the NFL on a regular basis, more than not. We're not talking about the blowouts. We're not talking about when the team just don't show up. You know what I'm saying? And really, we're not talking about the shootouts, but when shootouts happen, I just think that minimize the stops you get, because now in a shootout where it might be 3 to 4 stops that you need in a regular pace game, or when you lose them by a couple scores in a shootout, because both teams scoring back and forth, now maybe you need to get that 1 stop. And that 1 stop is a big stop, whether it be holding them to 3 points or no points. When you have a shootout happening, that's telling you both offenses on their shit and both defenses playing like shit. So now both defenses going to have to come up with 1 key stop. And God forbid that they both come up with that 1 stop and now the other team scoring. And now you need 2. That's usually how it works. It's not a set thing in shootouts. It's usually a thing that keep building the more the defenses decide to finally play good, or the more the shootout keep happening. It's one of them things. I know that might sound confusing if you're a first time viewer, but if you listen to the show, you already know that's not confusing when you watch the games, because what I'm saying is shit that happens in the game. I understand in the media, they're giving you the bare minimum a lot of times. They just saying shit that you want to hear. They care more about being entertaining. And I want to entertain you guys. Pause. We want to be more entertaining and things like that on the show. And we're going to grow and become more of that. But if I can't give you the facts and build a great foundation off of what I'm seeing, and you might not even think it's the facts, but I agree. I think that over time, you'll start to agree with a lot of the things that I'm saying. That's what we got to build the foundation off of, baby. People got to trust me and understand what I'm saying. Even though people might not agree with everything I'm saying, they saying he do his homework. What he's saying is based off of some type of fact, is based off of some substance, not just off of pure numbers and things of that nature. Because contrary to what people like to tell you, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Numbers do lie. And numbers don't tell you the whole story. You can't keep using rap terms for money the way you use it for stats in these sports games. Okay. I need some of my people to get out of that bondage. All right. Get out of that curse of that song, bro. All right. I hear a lot of people throw that song out there when they want to talk about stats, bro. Let that evil go. All right. Let it go. Yo, have y'all ever seen that movie? They cloned Tyrone. David Allen Greer, when he was the preacher, and they started, that juvenile song, That was the funniest scene in the fucking movie, bro. On me. If you ain't seen They Clone Tyrone, you gotta check that out. That shit is hard. That's gotta be like black. That's gotta be a part of black cinema now. Like when you go to the cookouts, if you're not African American, I know y'all probably got y'all movies that you know, whether you be Hispanic, Mexican, Latino, Caucasian. What do white people like to be called? Just Americans? All right. Anyways, if you got that joke, you got that joke. If you got that joke, you got that joke, and that's all I'm gonna say. But listen, when you do like black cinema, like we got like the one of my favorite black movies is The Johnson's Family Vacation. That's the movie that made me want to get a Lincoln Navigator, just not a red one. But you got that. That's one of my favorite. Cookout, one of my favorite ones. Obviously, you got The First Friday. That's one of my favorite ones. The Christmas one, I think, is one of my favorites, but I don't know yet. Cause none of them is as funny as the first one to me. Cause Chris Tucker was just different. You got Soul Men. That's one of my favorites with R.I.P. Bernie and Samuel. And I think you gotta put They Clone Tyrone in there. Now I'm forgetting a couple others. I know a couple gangsters wanted me to name some hard shit. Like, come on, bro, we're boys in the hood at, bro. Like, calm down, man. Calm down. God, leave it. You can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. And contrary to popular belief, I don't even really like them shows like that. The Wire. Oh boy, they're gonna kill me for that one. The Wire. I'm not gonna get. One day I'm gonna tell y'all why I don't like The Wire. One day I'm gonna tell y'all why I ain't like it. But that's not today. But I don't really get into the drug type shows. They gotta really be written. They gotta be well written for me to really care too much about them, because they all in the same, or they all basically the same show to me. Like, they all pretty much is the same show, and that's why I don't like them. Now, one show that I did end up liking was Snowfall, but I don't like the show now because I just don't like how it ended. And for anybody who say, oh, that's a realistic ending, motherfucker, it's a TV show. I hate it when people do that, bro. A lot of unrealistic shit been happening, but now we want to be realistic. Like, what? You know, to see how they wrote Franklin at the end of that, how everybody turned on him, how he, like he said, bro, you watching me drown and you won't throw out a life raft? I did everything for you. Like, bro, I don't like, bro, that, I ain't gonna lie. It ain't a lot of things that piss me off as far as like story writing and whatnot, cause I just don't think, I just chalk it up as bad writing. But sometimes when you got something that's so well written that end with, like, if you ever played that game, The Walking Dead by Telltale Games, the season 1, why the fuck would Lee get bit like that? And on top of that, like, in past and further seasons, it was people who got bit who got amputated arms and didn't turn. But for some reason, Lee had to get killed off. Like, bruh, my irritation with Telltale's The Walking Dead season 1, from that moment, like, bro, I hate the game, and it was such a great game until that bullshit. Like, who wrote that in this? How do you sit in creative and you write that in the writer's room and you write that and think it's cool? The Last of Us Part 2. Why the fuck would you think I want to play with the person who killed the character I was playing with all first game? The game done been as big as it is, and you think that not only am I cool with you killing this character off, but I'm gonna use the person who killed him and care about her backstory? The cocaine that is being snorted in these gaming writing rooms is outrageous. Okay? Al Pacino ain't got shit on them, because this is insane. Some of this writing, some of this storytelling, like, my goodness. Let's get back to sports, baby. Fuck that. The way they did Franklin at the end of Snowfall, bro. A perfect example. The snowfall that they was snorting in them writers' rooms. My goodness, bro. How do you write that like that? Everybody give him his ass to kiss? It ain't, oh, Franklin did this, he did that, bruh. They did. One dude who I know kept trying to point out Franklin's demons. I'm like, so everybody who did him wrong ain't got demons. Everybody who did him wrong is where they at because of Franklin. Or if they in a bad place, it was because of decisions they made, not because of Franklin. It was because they decided to get power hungry or turn on Franklin. In his mother's case, what mother does that? What mom does that, bro? Like, I understand TV like to write the worst in folks. So on TV, you'll see characters that you don't really get to see in real life. These worst humans. But come on, bro. Are you serious? She about to go to prison for life and she won't even give him the stuff to the house so he can say, like, she shoot the officer before he get the coat. Like, that's terrible writing, bro. That's terrible writing. That woman cared so much more. Every action she showed was that she did not care about being a mother. At no point in time did she care about her son. So all the rah-rah about her wanting better for her son and yada yada, that wasn't true. She wanted better for herself. Because that was selfish actions. I ain't even gonna keep getting into this, bro. I hate the fucking show just off of how it ended. But anyways, back to San Francisco, bro. We feel disrespected as Baltimore Ravens. Hey, I saw somebody on Twitter. They was like, I'm sick of you motherfuckers always talking about we. Like y'all put on the pads. I agree with him when you talking to them fanatics, bro. Y'all know I don't like stands, bro. Can't stand them. Do not like those stands, bro, who boo their own team. Oh, they don't play good enough, so we should boo them. Oh, yeah, let's see how that work out, bozo. I hate it even more when the athletes be kissing their ass and be like, yeah, we needed them to boo us, man. We not playing good enough. I'll boo us, too. Man, shut your ass. Anyways, this San Francisco-Baltimore game gonna be a good... I know some San Francisco fans who still here right now like, man, get back to the game, brother. All right, that's on me. That's on me. You lucky I ain't finna hop back into these black cinema movies because I could do a whole breakdown of the Johnson Family Vacation right now, but I ain't gonna do that to you, all right? Now listen. I watch San Francisco. I watch a lot of San Francisco. And so my keys on how to beat San Francisco. Now, the things that San Francisco do, I know they're going to talk, oh, motion. Yes, they do a lot of great motioning. But that's to throw the other team off. When you playing against unsophisticated defenses or defenses that can be had, defenses that's on the rope, that motion can start to fuck with you when you're tired in the game. But the key is to get them out of that early, to make sure that don't matter early. Because it come a point in time in the game where if the motion is not working, then you just got to do running cardio back and forth. The thing to me that the 49ers do great, better than anything else that they do on this team, is not just run the ball. It's how they find ways to get Christian McCaffrey in space. And a lot of that got to do with the offensive line being as dominant as they are, especially the side that Trent Williams play, because McCaffrey get a lot of action going that way. But because they understand blocking schemes, they understand how to block going down the field. They don't do too much of that holding shit. They don't do too much of that illegal blocking in the back. You don't see them pick up a lot of yards on Christian McCaffrey plays and then lose it with a flag. That's very disciplined. That's telling me that they understand the greatness of Christian McCaffrey, and they understand that we got to be perfect on plays where Christian McCaffrey can be him, because we don't want to fuck around and lose those and have him waste energy picking up big yards and losing it because of our stupidity. So that's great that they are very well disciplined when it comes to Christian McCaffrey and a lot of the great things that he do. You don't see them get called a lot when Christian McCaffrey going crazy. The reason you have to stop Christian McCaffrey from not just running the ball, because I think a team could stop Christian McCaffrey from running the ball, but can you stop him from being effective when he go on motions and get out in short space and catch a pass and then make a couple dudes miss, make one dude miss and break loose and turn a 2 yard to a 3, to a 6, to a 7, to a 8. Can you stop him when he find that crease in the zone where nobody is near him? Can you tackle quick enough to get to him when he gets shifty and out of his breaks? It's more than just being able to stop Christian McCaffrey from running. Like I said, you have to stop Christian McCaffrey from being great in space, period. You have to clog up. When Christian McCaffrey catch the ball, he need to see a dude within seconds of him catching it. Obviously, you're not going to always immediately be there when he get the ball. But if you can first off stop him from any type of inside runs, if you find a way to shut off that edge that Trent Williams defends, that he guards, blocks, you take a large piece of this offense off. Because I know a lot of people, first off, they were like, okay, you got to stop Debo, you got to stop Ayuk, you got to stop Kittle. I actually think the 49ers can stop themselves in certain aspects, because if you take away Christian McCaffrey and everything that he can do, then they become a pass game that they already don't lean on George Kittle as much as they lean on those two outside receivers. And the Ravens have good enough corners in Stevens and Marlin, and Kyle Hamilton I'm going to get to Kyle Hamilton in a minute. They have a good enough secondary. Marcus Williams, if he played, Geno Stone. They have a good enough secondary to where if you don't have to worry about a defense being able to run the ball, they can defend their asses off. I'm not telling you that Brandon Ayuk and Debo won't make a play. But if they defend the way they can, and the run game is not a worry throughout the entirety of the game, that changes the game, in my opinion, because this is a different type of secondary. This is not Slay and Bradbury. These dudes on the Ravens can actually cover. Another thing that to me is very important. In a lot of these games, the 49ers coming to the game is the better tackling team. I don't know if they necessarily come into this game that much better, if even better than the Ravens at tackling. As much as I love Fred Warner, and I don't really know if I think Fred Warner the best. It's definitely between him and Roquan. I think these are the two best middle linebackers in football. What would make me lean Fred is because I think he a better cover corner than Roquan, even though Roquan can play in coverage. What would make me lean Roquan is I think Roquan is I'm not going to say far better, but he is the better tackler. I would lean towards him in tackling. Like, Roquan is an unbelievable tackler. Nonetheless, it would be 1A, 1B, 1A. It didn't really matter. Both of them to me is the best two middle linebackers in the game. And I like Greenlaw a lot more than I like Patrick Queen. However, I done said on the show multiple times, when Patrick Queen played beside another great linebacker, it make his job a lot easier because he can play great. And that the biggest thing for Pat Queen is going to be not missing tackles. He cannot run past Christian McCaffrey. He cannot miss the Christian McCaffrey. They have to wrap up. Him and Jadeveon Clowney have to finish tackles. They love to miss tackles. Both of those two, if they finish tackles, I think this game becomes far harder for the San Francisco 49ers than people might believe. Because I like San Fran secondary. But I done told you, the weakest part of San Francisco's defense is their secondary. Lamar Jackson will make plays. I'm not concerned about Lamar Jackson. I'm really not concerned about the offense. What I want to see is, will they find a way to get the run game going, even without Keaton Mitchell now? And the biggest thing will be, can the receivers remain consistent? Can they remain consistent in their route running and getting open, catching passes? Because they done shown they can get open and win their routes, and it's just, can they finish? The biggest thing for me is the Ravens defense. because I believe Patrick Queen, his speed is a difference maker. I've been saying it his whole career. It's just something that's been detrimental to his own career because he haven't used it in the proper way. This year, you done seen him use it in the proper way. How many times you done seen Pat Queen get to a dude as soon as the ball hit his hands and he already there to make the tackle? How many times you done seen him, his speed run right past people to get to the backfield? That's an element that I don't think a lot of people think about when they think about the Ravens. Yeah, people talk about Pat Queen, but you really just talk about Roquan and you throw Pat Queen in there because he play opposite of him. But what is it that Pat Queen does great? What he does great could have a huge impact in this game, because I know a lot of people think Nick Bosa, Armstead. Actually, I don't. Hey, 49er fans, do not hate me. I do forget the name of the dudes on y'all defensive line all the time. And they is great players. And I constantly forget the name. And I'm going to tell you why. And it's not because I don't watch y'all team, bro. I watch the 49ers, I promise you. The reason I constantly forget, who was on that defensive line for the 49ers is because the media literally never talk about nobody but Bosa and Fred Warner. That's why it's easy to forget the names of their secondary, the names of their safeties, the names of their linebackers, not named Fred Warner. They kind of do y'all defense the way they do the Ravens offense. Like, if they lose, they don't never really blame the defense for that, so ignore that. But listen, the 49ers have a great defense, and I'm not telling you that they won't be great at rushing and all that. But what I'm telling you is the Ravens' specialty, the Ravens' secret weapon in this game could be how great Patrick Queen played. Because I know Roquan will have a great game. Kyle Hamilton is just a special. You know what I'm starting to realize? Much like Lamar Jackson is a one-of-one, Christian McCaffrey, one-of-one. San Francisco, I'm finna piss y'all off for a quick second, but don't get mad. I don't know if Deebo Samuels is what I think of, and I love Deebo. But I don't know if I think Deebo is a one-of-one yet. Like, I know he is a him, but I'm talking about like Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and his, like, players who I know for a fact, like, I don't know. Matter of fact, I'll use receiver. I don't know why I wasn't using receiver. I don't know, even in his peak right now, I don't look at Deebo the way I looked at a Julio Jones or, I'm going to tell y'all something. I was at work the other day, and I'm being dead ass serious. A dude in a truck that I was in, we was talking about San Fran. And do you know who he said Deebo reminded him of? So he was agreeing that he didn't think Deebo was like, so I don't look at Deebo as like a Julio, a T.O., or Randy Moss, Ocho in his prime. The big, and I don't even really look at him as a Steve Smith Sr. Do you want to know who this motherfucker said that he thought Deebo reminded him of? Like, he said this is who he thought Deebo was. Wes Welker. I'm not bullshitting. And I was like, Wes Welker? He was like, yeah, like Julian Edelman and Wes Welker. He said, that's who Deebo kind of remind me of. He said he played more like them. I said, this is wild, bro. Like, dead ass. That was crazy. I never disrespect you like that, Deebo. I never disrespect. And shout out to Wes Welker and Julian Edelman, but I never disrespect Deebo like that. That's crazy work. That's a devil's work right there. But as great as Deebo is, I don't really look at him as like I don't look at him like Tyreek. I just don't want y'all to think that I'm using height as why I don't look at Deebo like that. But I do believe him and George. It's hard, bro, because pause. I do look at him and George Ayuk as like all pro level receivers. I just don't look at them as unstoppable the way Julio was in his prime and those guys. Like, obviously, if everything going right for that offense, if our defense struggling, obviously they could be tough to stop. They're going to be tough to stop regardless. However, you could be losing. How do I describe it, bro? I can't figure out how to describe it, but I'm not trying to disrespect San Francisco's Deebo and Brandon Ayuk. I just want y'all to know that. I think those are upper echelon receivers. I just don't look at them as Tyreek Hill. Like, if you put Deebo on a team, if you took Deebo off of, you don't put Deebo on Kansas City. Kansas City's offense would be better with Deebo. So I'm not saying that I don't think Deebo is a superstar receiver. I'm trying to point that out. I don't think of him. Okay, this is a great way to explain it. it's tiers. Even in the Hall of Fame, it's tiers. You got first ballot, second ballot, third ballot. After that, they just be hating on you, or you shouldn't have been in the first place. But I look at Julio, Prime Julio, Tyreek Hill, these guys as tier 1, and AB tier 1. I look at Debo as more of a tier 2. So I'm not trying to disrespect. And Brandon Ayuk, I will put in tier 3. Because if you told me to take a receiver on their team, which one would I take first? I'm taking Debo every single day of the week. But if you told me who would be the first weapon on that team I took, it would be between Christian McCaffrey. No, it would be Chris. I would take CMac first. Then it would get tough because it would be, do I take George Kittle? Because some people I hate that George Kittle was starting to be only known for his blocking, but that's because he a great teammate, bro. He understand he not going to bitch about not getting enough touches. Some games he don't even see but like couple targets. But I'm glad that he don't bitch about it, bro. Because I know if George Kittle was a Raven, oh my God, he'd be putting up numbers. Lamar Jackson love his tight ends, baby. Look at how Isaiah Likely playing, which Isaiah Likely can be another key piece to this game. He is far more athletic than Mark Henry. Mark Henry, good Lord. He is far more athletic than Mark Andrews, which to me is a big deal. I know a lot of people don't think that's a big deal. I think that's a big deal. Look at how he can get out of his breaks. Look at how he run after the catch. Look at the athletic play. Now, Mark Andrews is a very athletic tight end. Now, you know what might separate him is just the speed difference. Isaiah Likely is far. I do like what Mark Andrews bring here. Another time where I got to clarify what I'm saying. For one, I was wrong about Isaiah Likely. I did not think he would be playing this good. So I do want to touch on that first because I said some things. Isaiah Likely is playing phenomenal. So shout out to him. But Mark Andrews is still TE1. All right. I love you, Mark. I don't understand why the Ravens don't have a great 2 tight end package, though, seeing how great Isaiah Likely is now. That is very interesting to me. Like, they should be running that shit that the Patriots was running when they had Gronk and that murderer over there. Apologies to if somebody who is related to Mr. Aaron Hernandez. I don't speak ill on the dead. I just simply stated a fact. He is a murderer. And I'll just leave it at that. I won't say anything else about it. He was saucy, though, when he was in the league, though, wasn't he, boy? That boy, think about this, boy. That boy was out there killing people. And was saucing motherfuckers up like that. Remember when Gronk got hurt? The Pats was like, we good. Mr. Hernandez over here out here balling. On and off the court, obviously. My goodness. But I said I wasn't going to say nothing else about that. So we moving on. I don't even know why I went back to it, to be honest with you. I don't even know why I went back to it. That's on me. I apologize for that. That boy was saucing him up, though. He played with Tebow. I forgot he played with Tebow. He was hooping. You imagine how good he had to be playing with Tebow. And we know what Tebow was when he got to the league. But shout out to Tebow. Because I'll never forget the pass he made in overtime to beat them funky ass Steelers. But I don't even know I'm talking about Mr. Hernandez. I'm done talking about it. May his victims rest in peace. And we moving on. Anyways, Isaiah Likely could be a huge difference maker in this game. And I would like to see the Ravens employ a 2 tight end set when both of these guys are healthy at the same time. Oh my goodness. Because this development that Likely is getting with Lamar Jackson right now, it can only pay off. I said I wasn't going to say nothing about it. But look at how Aaron Hernandez played when Gronk got hurt. He got to build chemistry with. I really wish I could think of another great 2 tight end set so I didn't have to keep using Aaron Hernandez, bro. But my mind is just not right there. I can't cut nothing popping up right now, bro. I know y'all expect me to know. I give y'all a lot of. The way I talk and the way I break down things, he be giving us some fact. He can remember a lot of the games and stuff. Man, ain't nothing popping up right now for the 2 great 2 tight end sets, bro. Nothing. It's crazy. Anyways, I do think I saw people talking about this 5-point spread, the 5, whatever. I don't give a fuck about no spread. I'm taking the Ravens to win this game. I believe at the end of the day, it always comes down to a great quarterback making a big time play at some point in time in the game. Sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't. But more likely than not, it's going to come down to that. Even as good as the 49ers, I think, could play, I don't believe this is going to be a blowout. I actually do think this is going to live up to the hype. This is going to actually be a great competition. However, I just have faith in Lamar Jackson. I know that's going to sound biased at the end of the day, but the man is phenomenal in prime time. And let me say something to San Fran, this is the part where you just got to listen to what I'm saying, because you're going to jump out the window if you don't. But people who watch the channel, the viewers, the big dogs who watch the show, they already know where I'm going. Lamar Jackson in prime time against a white quarterback that the media think is better than him just don't never work out too well for them white quarterbacks. Oh, he hate white quarterbacks. Why he had to bring race into it? Calm down. I'm just telling you a fact. When Lamar Jackson play in prime time against white quarterbacks who get heavily picked against over him, he come out like the big dog in those games. So that's just something for you to think about. That's just some meat and potatoes for you to think about. But I am picking Baltimore to win this game for the simple reason the Ravens are also great on the road. They're 6-1 on the road this year. The strength of schedule to me cannot be ignored. This is why. Usually going into a game, and I'm not saying Baltimore can't lose or nothing like this, but this is why I don't think it'll be a blowout. And this is why I was shocked that it was a blowout against the Eagles. But now I'm starting to realize why. When you have a team that's as battle tested as the Ravens, and it's not just this year, the Ravens play a tougher schedule than the 49ers yearly for the simple reason they got to play most of the top tier teams in the AFC. It's far more top tier teams in the AFC than it is in the NFC. Point blank, period. You look at the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals. I'm not going to say the Steelers. The Browns, the Dolphins, usually the Patriots. Obviously, I ain't saying the Patriots. Them motherfuckers ain't been good since Brady. But the Houston now, it look like the Jags. Look at how many teams are better top tier teams than the teams in the AFC. It's just a tougher gauntlet, in my opinion. So a quarterback like Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, they get used to having to be in these tough, close competitions, because that's what their life is in the AFC. I just think that type of building up that type of callus, it prepare you for these type of games. I understand how great San Francisco done been, but I cannot ignore that strength of schedule. They got the 26th hardest schedule in the league this year. The Ravens had a 15th. Mind you, if you want to talk about how the rankings could have changed since we know what we know about teams now, the Ravens' strength of schedule would be higher even than 15. The 49ers would probably fall lower than 26. So I'm not taking nothing away from San Francisco. I'm not. But the and I'm not telling you that San Fran not battle tested. San Fran is a great team. San Fran is usually a great team when the Ravens play them. Because I know people get on TV and be like, oh, Lamar Jackson 19-1 against the NFC. But that's because they only play him once every 3 years. Bro, he done played the San Francisco 49ers. I think this will be the third time he played against them. He done played Seattle multiple times. Matter of fact, he played the NFC West. He done played the NFC West like 3 times at least, I believe. I know he got 2. I think he done played against the Rams damn near 4 times in his career. So I wish that somebody would get on TV and stop letting people say that dumbass narrative like, oh, you win because you haven't played against Lamar Jackson, but once every No, bro, he done played a lot of these teams in the NFC multiple times. Plus the Giants. We only played them once and they won. Now, we was winning that game at the end, but nonetheless. Anyways, the calluses that you build up from playing tougher teams, being in closer dogfights, like people keep, this is why I get real irritated with the San Francisco 49ers blow out the teams they play. Bro, they don't have to play the fucking schedule that the Ravens is playing. They're not playing against some of these AFC teams that the Chiefs got to play. The Bills got to play. Why you think the Chiefs look why you think the Bills looked how they look against some of these AFC teams and then went in there and looked how they look? Look at the Bills against Cincinnati. Look at the Bills against the Cowboys. It's just a different type of level of toughness in the AFC, bro. The Bills go into the Cowboy game and they stomp all over. They're not thinking too hard about that. They know they better than that. Oh, the Cowboys are top NFC team. Sure. But do they have to play against Baltimore on a regular basis? Do they got to play against Cincinnati on a regular basis? Do they got to play against the Chiefs on a regular basis? Do they got to play against that Miami offense on a regular basis? Like, we keep I'm not taking nothing away from these teams in the NFC because somebody got to get to the Super Bowl. It's just not the same when you look at the road that you got to go. That gauntlet in the AFC, it just hits different. That's why I think it's an elevated level of greatness applied to the quarterbacks who get out of the AFC. Because while we might not think Tom Brady had the toughest division to play in, motherfucker had to get past Peyton Manning a lot of years. It was a lot of great quarterbacks that made the playoffs that he had to go up against in that AFC. Now, obviously, the NFC has not always been as weak at the quarterback position as it is now. And that's probably what Brady talking about more so, how weak the quarterback position is in the NFC compared to the AFC. Now, I know it's some bad quarterback play in the AFC, too. You got Kenny Pickett. You got Mason Rudolph. You got Trubisky. Ah, fuck. I just said the whole Steelers roster. My fault. But, you know, you got some backups that's not that great. But, you know, I find it very interesting. I said a couple weeks ago Gardner Minshew was not the best backup in the league because, in my mind, that was Baker Mayfield. I don't give a fuck if he's starting. But you know what? Gardner Minshew might be the best backup. No, that's Joe Flacco. Ha ha! That's my guy, Joe. Cool Joe. Joe did throw 3 interceptions in that motherfucker last week, though. Had me thinking to myself, shit, maybe I do want to play the Browns in the playoffs. But anyways, back to the game. I love San Francisco. I'm going to love them after this game. But two things, and even if they win this game, I'm going to still love them. I'm not going to be mad that they won the game. But I know that this game is going to determine heavily MVP for some people. Not for me, because I told you Lamar Jackson's MVP right now to me. So why would this game change it? For the reasons that I've given you as to why he is the MVP for me. But I do believe this would be a close and a tougher game for the 49ers because to me, the Ravens present them with something they haven't had to beat this year. And when they had an opportunity, they didn't. Last year, we thought San Fran was a great team. You want to know who went into San Fran and spanked their ass? Pat Mahomes. Yeah. And that's what made me start looking at San Fran different. San Fran was doing great this year. You want to know who went into San Fran and smacked their ass? Joe Burrow. Yeah. Made me kind of look at San Fran different. Now, San Francisco, you could get mad at me for them comments, but you have to admit, you have to understand that reality just like Dallas have to realize they don't beat good teams. Maybe you got to realize your weakness, your kryptonite is franchise quarterbacks. Because San Francisco is very convenient that I left out. Lamar done beat you twice in the regular season. Oh, actually, I don't think he played in one of the games. Lamar done beat you in one of the seasons where you was having a great season. Nick Bosa. Nick, I don't mean to keep calling you your brother. But Mr. Bosa was up for Defensive Player of the Year that year. I think that was actually his rookie. No, that wasn't his rookie season. He was having a great. Nick Bosa done been great his whole career, so he ain't T.J. Watt though. And that's another thing. I don't want to hear a San Francisco fan say, "Oh, well, you know, Lamar don't have to go up against have to go up against a Nick Bosa." Because I've heard people say that. Like, he don't got to go up against Nick Bosa every year, motherfucker. He got to go up against Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the fuck are you talking about right now? Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward. Like, come on, man. Stop it. Hubbard. Let me not forget about them boys over there in Cincinnati. The two, I be forgetting them white boys' names all the time. Logan Wilson is one of them, I believe is his name. And Trey Hendrickson. Studs. I love Trey. Oh, my goodness. Trey is a stud. I don't know how the Saints let that motherfucker walk. My goodness, that he is. Who knew he was going to be that great when he left New Orleans? I didn't. And y'all know I call out a lot of things. Like my guy, all pro, say it with me, all pro Matt Milano. I called that. I've been calling that for a good minute now. Who would have thought Trey Hendrickson would be as great? I ain't gonna lie to you. When Trey Hendrickson first had his breakout year in Cincinnati, I ain't believe in it. But I knew he was good because I was like, man, he really ain't got that many other studs. But that was at the time I was hating because Cincinnati done had studs on that defense. That's why I was like, maybe it's just these guys around Cincinnati. But boy, oh boy, he kept putting them things together. And a lot of the ways that I notice how great a pass rusher is when they find ways to be great when they can't hit their greatest. Okay, so this is going to sound stupid, but just follow me. To find ways to be great when you cannot be great. So when they take away your best pass rush move, when they take away your best move to get to a runner or to the court, and you still find a way to make an impact on the play, great. That's why I know Max Crosby is a him. And I know y'all had to know I was going to find a way to get Max Crosby into the show. We haven't talked about my boy in like 2 shows. You had to know Max was getting talked about. I love Max Crosby so much. If I had a Christmas, it's a lot of things I wish for Christmas, you know, like an operating car. But the biggest thing, if it was, you know, talking about NFL wise, because I could think of a couple other things sports wise I would ask over this also. So now the list started narrowing down. But nonetheless, I would ask for Max Crosby to be a Baltimore Raven. He is just, bro, he is just born to wreak havoc for the Ravens like Terrell Suggs used to do, bro. Do you understand how good he would look in them all black unis, bro? Do you understand how this man would look with them tats all, his shirt off with the tats on, with them black trunks on, bro? Pause. You know what? Let's move on, bro, because that started to sound a little freaky. Little freaky. But listen, I got nothing but the utmost respect for the 49ers. I do. I love the 49ers. And if you listen to the show, you know I don't like overly respecting the team. I started to be like, man, fuck that. I ain't about to be respected. But I love the 49ers, bro. I really do. I think that's a phenomenal team. But my belief in the quarterback has not changed. A great quarterback, a franchise quarterback, do they always figure it out? No. But more times than not, they do. And that's what make them what they are. The Pat Mahomes, the Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens. Bro, I saw bruh. Let me finish this thought real quick. So that's my thoughts on the San Francisco game. I think San Francisco, matter of fact, I'm going to get back. I got to get this out. I was looking at a tweet the other day and the dude had the tier of quarterbacks. And in the top tier, he had Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford. And in tier 2, Joe Burrow. Now, I done been the biggest Joe Burrow critic or questionnaire about, I don't really know if I think he is Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, but I know he got to be, or Josh Allen, but he definitely is a great quarterback. To say he is under Matt Stafford is crazy to me, because if Matt Stafford make players better, why did the Lions suck? They had talent. Oh, he won a Super Bowl with the Rams. Did you see the talent that he had in with the Rams and how weak are some of them other teams? Like, stop playing, bro. That pissed me off. See, Cincinnati, bro, if you're a Cincinnati fan, you gotta fuck with me, bro. Look at how I just defended Joe Burrow. Like, I tweeted something defending Joe Burrow. I was like, if you gonna take a knock at Joe Burrow because you think it's his talent that's holding him up, how the fuck is you not gonna take that same knock at Matt Stafford? Like, that's crazy. Or maybe this dude was trying to say because Matt Stafford beat Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl. That's crazy if you think Matt Stafford is why they won that game. Did he make some plays? Absolutely. But Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald is the biggest reasons they won that Super Bowl. But nonetheless, Saint, it's the quarterback. You said quarterback. But y'all told me Tyreek and CMac was the MVPs. What we doing? I like turning stuff back on white people like that, bro. When you just hit them with some shit they said in the past and you use a point that they said in the past that they felt firmly about against them, but you use it by twisting your logic for a second, knowing exactly what the fuck you doing, it just leave them stuck. I done that a couple times on Twitter to white dudes who be going at me. They just leave them stuck. Like, what the fuck? It's a crazy thing when you watch the games. But I like San Fran. I really do like San Fran. And I think it's a great team. I'm not telling you San Fran can't win this game. San Fran can definitely win this game. I say it all the time. Sometimes players don't show up. Sometimes the other team get paid too. Sometimes they just have a better game. But if this game go the way I think it's going to go, I think the Ravens end up pulling this game out at the end of the game. And I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. And I could be dead ass wrong. While I don't see a blowout happening, because there's a lot of people who done said they think San Fran finna blow the Ravens out. If a blowout happen, it ain't gonna be the Ravens that get blown out. I promise you. Like, I don't think a blowout gonna happen. But if a blowout do happen, it ain't gonna be the Ravens. I can't remember the last time I seen Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Pat Mahomes get blown out. I can't remember it. I'm pretty sure it done happen. But I can't think of it the last time they lost by multiple scores. So, you know, I understand we think San Fran is a great team. But y'all basically kill y'all own quarterback logic when y'all say shit like the Ravens don't have a chance or the Ravens are going to get blown out. Because if you think, now granted, you might not think Lamar Jackson is a franchise quarterback. You might not think Lamar Jackson is one of them. And to that I would say, my guy, you don't know ball. It's as simple as that. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It With Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Yo, man. We had a good show tonight, yo. We got a good little show. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. I be telling y'all, I fuck with these Ruffles, flaming hot cheddar and sour cream LeBron flavored Ruffles, bro. I call them the LeBron James Ruffles for short. Y'all got to get y'all a bag of them. Them shit smack. It's very, you know, it's amazing that I didn't decide to pop them bitches open and start eating them bitches while I was on the show tonight. But that's because I got nothing but love and respect for y'all. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, and if you made it this far in the episode, which I know my real ones did, we definitely gonna have a Christmas night episode. So don't even worry about that. We 100% gonna have a Christmas night episode. Now it might come out the day after Christmas, but I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure, no, listen to me and listen to me good. That shit gonna be out on Christmas night. I promise you. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It With Saint. I fucking love y'all, man. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking or something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home.